Imagine this. It's the first day of class. You walk into class and see an absolutely gorgeous girl sitting alone. You look around and don't recognize anyone in the class. You consider sitting next to her so that you can get to know her, but your thoughts get in the way. She won't like me. She'll think I'm ugly because of my acne. These thoughts continue to snowball, so you decide to just sit with the random group of people instead of the girl sitting alone. If something like this has happened to you, then odds are having acne has probably affected your dating life. And while I was making this video, I thought, what better way of finding out how acne affects your dating life than asking ChatGPT? How does having acne affect your dating life?
Go outside and talk to some girls losing.
Alright, let's be serious now. What better way of finding out how acne affects your dating life than asking my subscribers about their experiences? Alright, so first things first, how has acne affected your dating life?
It really hasn't, to be honest.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. How? I mean, if we're talking about the ideally most attractive person in the world, this person wouldn't have acne, so how would having acne not affect your dating life? That doesn't make sense. Alright, well, let's just hear it out. So even like when you had, I guess, like severe acne, it didn't really affect your dating life at all?
Not really, because like nobody really gives a fuck.
Okay, this is kind of surprising because my experience when it comes to dating with acne was very different from May's. I mean, first off, the obvious thing is that when you have acne, you are less attractive, and this is even backed up by studies. In a study done by Health Day News, it was found that faces with acne were perceived as significantly less attractive, less trustworthy, less successful, less confident, less happy, and less dominant. So yeah, it is understandable if you feel less attractive if you do have acne. And because I did feel less attractive, this actually hurt my self-confidence a lot. And this just makes sense. You look yourself in the mirror, and if you see so much acne on your face, I mean, you don't feel good about yourself. Matter of fact, a lot of the times you might even start avoiding the mirror because you just hate what you're seeing in the mirror. And this really is a snowball effect, and it gets worse and worse because people start giving you unsolicited advice. You start feeling like everyone is judging you for your acne, and now your confidence is just absolutely ruined, and it's down the drain. It's to the point where you might see a cute girl, but because your confidence is so low, you start to think that she's above you and that you don't deserve her because you just look ugly. And even though you have acne, that doesn't make you ugly. But that's just the type of thoughts that come in your head when you have such low confidence. And my confidence got so low to the point that even if I was going on dates with these girls, all I was thinking about in the back of my head was how my skin was looking like on that particular day, and most of the time it wasn't looking great. I remember this one particular time I was driving on my way to pick up this girl to go get some sushi or something. And obviously when you're driving, you have that rear view mirror, and so every once in a while I would check myself out in the rear view mirror, and I noticed a pimple. So when I got to a red light, I literally popped a pimple, and after that happened, bro, it literally started bleeding for like 10 minutes. So when I was driving to the girl's house, the whole time that area was just bleeding. I swear I literally picked up the girl in my car and I had a napkin covering that area just to cover the blood up. Like, it was just nasty. But this is exactly what I mean. I was just obsessing over my skin because my confidence was so low. Like, even if I got a pimple now and I was going on a date, I might notice the pimple, but I don't really care anymore. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to pop the pimple on the way to driving to pick her up. And the reason why I was thinking this way is because I really had no true self-love. I wasn't comfortable with who I was as a person. I sort of relied on my appearance as my crutch, and so whenever I had a breakout, that crutch wasn't there, and there was nothing else for me to rely on because I wasn't comfortable with my personality and who I was. And I feel like my experience aligned more with another subscriber that I interviewed, and her name is Evelyn. This is me interviewing a subscriber named Evelyn. Similar to me, she's also in college, so we grew up with similar experiences when it comes to societal pressures and how social media can affect your confidence. Here's what she had to say. How has having acne affected your dating life?
I think it's definitely like really just my self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm dating someone that's like popular or like really good looking, I have like my own expectation that I have to like match that standard, and being in that standard is like having good skin. So like, I would try like extra hard to look like I have no acne, like wear makeup or like do like intensive skincare before I go on dates and stuff like that. And I think it's really tiring. It's stressful. You're always like, like the more you look at your face, the more like imperfections you see. And I think instead of like feeling the love from the person that I was dating, it made me kind of like self-conscious about myself and how I looked when, it's really not about appearance when you're dating someone.
Now, both of these interviews that I did with both May and Evelyn, they're both very interesting. It sort of shows two completely opposite sides of the spectrum. On one hand, it shows how having acne might not affect your dating life at all, and on the other hand, it shows how having acne can really influence it a lot. But seeing completely both sides of the spectrum sort of made me realize something. Ultimately, you choose whether having acne affects your dating life or not. Because really, acne's biggest issue isn't just the physical side of things, but how it affects you mentally. If you're letting it affect your self-confidence and your self-love, then it's gonna show, and it's gonna show through your actions and the way you carry yourself. It'll be evident that you have no true self-love or true self-confidence in who you are. Because really, even if you do have acne, just don't let that make your situation any worse. You can still be comfortable with who you are, whether you have acne or you don't have acne. And this way, it won't affect you very much if you suddenly get a breakout. Now, obviously, people are still gonna reject you. It might be because of your acne or it might be because of something else. But this is all normal. Rejection is a normal part of life. But one thing for sure is that you shouldn't be the one rejecting yourself. You should never avoid pursuing someone just because you have acne and you feel ugly. Don't let things from the outside and your appearance dictate the actions and the decisions you make on the inside. And actually, I can talk about my personal experience when it comes to having acne and how it doesn't really affect your dating life that much unless you allow it to. Because I remember a couple years ago when I was a senior in high school, I had prom, and during this time, I actually had a lot of acne. But honestly, I didn't really care that much. I wasn't constantly obsessing and stressing about it. And so even though I did have a lot of acne, I still had a date when I went to prom. And this is really because our relationship and the dynamic that we had, it was very strong. And so she was able to overlook the fact that I had acne because we had such a strong connection. And so really, that's something you need to realize, that having acne, it's not a major deal. It is way more important to be able to connect with someone emotionally. And so if you're able to create a good connection with someone emotionally and have a really good dynamic with someone, they're probably going to value that more than just you having some pimples. So really just be comfortable with who you are and accept that you have acne, because this way, having acne really won't affect your dating life that much. Now, so far, I've only really talked about in-person dating, but just for the fun of it, how does it affect online dating? And so I downloaded Hinge and set up my profile. The way that I did this experiment is that I would first have a profile with pictures of me with clear skin. And then I would use this profile for 2 consecutive days, and after the time is up, I would switch my profile. I would use the same exact pictures, however, those pictures would have acne photoshopped on my face. And so basically I'm testing if having acne affects my dating profile. So I started off with a trial with me having clear skin. I first chose New York as my location since there would be plenty of users there. Here's what my full profile looked like. During this time, I sent the maximum amount of likes every single day possible. So in total, I ended up sending 16 likes. And out of those 16 likes, I only got 2 matches. However, I did end up getting 4 likes on my profile. And so if I matched every single one of them, I had 6 matches in total. Honestly, this isn't too bad for a Hinge profile and only having it for 2 days. And so I then went on and created my Hinge profile with the exact same pictures, but I used a Snapchat filter to add acne to my face. The way I did this was really scuffed, and so that's why the pictures on my profile are lower quality. I also changed my location from New York to California so that I would get a new pool of people. And so then I got to sending likes once again. I sent 16 likes in total and I only got 1 match. Well, to be fair, my profile that did have clear skin, it only got 2 matches, so I guess this kind of makes sense. Now, even though I only got 1 match, let's check how many likes I got. Just for reference, my profile that had clear skin got a total of 4 likes. So how many likes do you think that the profile with acne got? 5 likes, 4 likes, 3 likes, 2 likes, maybe just 1 like? Nope. I did not get a single like on my profile for the last 2 days. Now, this could be because of 2 reasons. Obviously, the first reason is that I have acne and it affected how people perceive me. But the second reason, which I think is more probable, is that the quality of my pictures were way lower because I was using a Snapchat filter. So yeah, this test was kind of flawed, but in the end, I mean, technically, yeah, having acne did affect my Hinge dating profile. But to be honest, online dating sucks. I actually think that this experiment that I did kind of shows the issues with online dating rather than how having acne affects your dating life. Because when it comes to online dating, people are going to be making a split-second decision, and it's really just going to come down to how professional your pictures look. If your pictures are low quality, you're probably going to get rejected. So yeah, just general advice to everyone, don't get on dating apps unless you have good pictures, I guess.